On the Leaf, a light-hearted guide for the novice butterfly counter.
Hi, welcome to another episode of On the Leaf. Our last count in April gave us 23 butterflies. The week after is too cold, so we can't count, but a week later we set off, only to find 8 butterflies in all, 3 of which are orange tip, but there are no new arrivals. What's going on? The weather falls cold and wet. We go a further 2 weeks without a count, but at the end of May there's a long-awaited rise in temperatures. So, with good conditions, we walk the transect on May the 31st and find 15 butterflies in all, 4 of which are new arrivals. Things are finally on the up. The top butterfly of this count will be the Brimstone, followed in second place by the Speckled Wood. Our top moments? The arrival of a butterfly we don't recognise straight away, and one that we do. Our count on May the 31st begins at 1:30 in the afternoon under blue skies, and straight into the walk 2 Speckled Wood butterflies spiral at head height. Then we have 4 whites, a small white, a green veined, a female orange tip, and a large white. It's a real parade along the wide ride. But just how easy is it to identify the whites, and from a distance? The small white has brilliant white wings and forewings with small black tips. They can have 1 or 2 wing spots, usually small, and the undersides that are creamy and white. They are generally smaller than the large white, which, being similar, has wider and darker shading at the tip of the forewing, and this shading extends most of the way down the wing's edge. See here. Its undersides are also creamy, white, bordering on yellow, with 2 very noticeable and much larger dark spots. The key to identifying these 2 butterflies is to get in as close as you can, see the difference in the number and the size of these spots. Wing size doesn't always work because there are smaller large white and larger small. What about the green veined white? From a distance, it's so easy to confuse it with a small white, but again, if you get up close and you see the underwing, you will spot the green veined effect that gives the butterfly its name. In the woodland clearing there's another speckled wood butterfly before we slip into the first meadow and spot a butterfly we can't identify. It circles, seems playful, not at all shy, but what is it? Large to medium-sized, pale orangey brown from a distance, wide-winged and flying all along the tops of the grass. We wonder if it could be a small tortoiseshell, commonly known as a small tort. It's too pale. A faded comma, perhaps. Again, too pale, and the wrong wing shape. We move on to the second meadow, more brimstone, small white, and a common blue male that sits on birdsfoot trefoil. Puzzled by the butterfly we couldn't recognise, we return to the first meadow. It circles us again, and we note just how friendly it is, almost as friendly as a small tort. But it is not a small tort. We watch it flap and glide. When it settles, to our amazement, it lets us in quite close. Then we can see it's a painted lady butterfly. The UK has 57 resident species of regular butterflies and 2 migrants, the clouded yellow and the painted lady. The painted lady arrives in mainland Europe from North Africa, the Middle East and Central Asia to recolonise. And it ends up not just in Britain, but also in Ireland. The painted lady is mainly orange with black tips on the forewings, which carry these white spots. And it's got black spots on both the hind and the forewings. So it can easily be confused with a small tort, just at a quick glance. The painted lady butterfly feeds on nectar from flowers and it migrates to find the plants that its caterpillars will need, thistle and common nettles to name but a few, plenty of which are found on our transect. And yes, before you ask, there are male and female painted ladies, the difference being the size of the butterfly's abdomen and wingspan. The female is slightly larger and has a more rounded abdomen. So, is this painted lady a male or a female? Unless you have 2 sitting side by side, that's a very tricky question to answer. In your garden, the painted lady will feed on buddleia, but the thistle remains the favourite larval food plant. The butterfly's Latin name, Vanessa cardui, translating as butterfly of thistle. After several weeks of poor weather and no chance of counting, the 9th week of the season at the end of May brought a very welcome palette of colours. 1 week later and numbers stagnate. But one butterfly will dominate and another, historically tricky to find, will be on show. But which ones are they? Until next time.